Just give me a second to get set up. As you can maybe guess from the oversized novelty timer, I am in fact a scientist. And this will become important. And my timer just turned off. A disastrous thing for a scientist. Okay, still running. We're good. Okay, no panicking. So, first and foremost, a brief distraction. A friend of mine got in trouble in maths class because he kept on shouting out the answers before the teacher had finished, because he suffered from premature calculation. Anyway, more about that later. So, I am actually, a doctor, yes. I don't go around dropping the D-bomb much, but it is a thing, yes. And, we see doctors like as villains, as it were. And as a PhD candidate, I understand that PhD program must have driven him insane. That's why he's trying to take over the world. It's obvious to me. You guys think, oh, he's highly educated. Yes, but he's also, it explains it anyway. But, I hate to say it, you'd think science is all very practical and sensible. Not all of it, a lot of it is luck. There's a hell of a lot of being in the right place at the right time and doing the right thing, or studying the right thing. I mean, my boss, I kid you not, is famously quoted as saying, I don't want anyone doing experiments that aren't going to work. I think that's the whole idea of an experiment. You're going to find stuff out. I mean, if we knew that, we could polish off everything in 18 months and go home. But anyway, no. So, back to about being in the right place at the right time. As a PhD student, I admit I was really rather lucky, but there still were days where I was bleak and sad and what I was trying to do was not working and, I felt a bit down. But also, there were times where things absolutely went my way. And on those days, goodness gracious, you felt like you could, punch out Godzilla. You were unstoppable. The world was amazing. And these were great times. But here's the story about being in the wrong place at the wrong time. But it wasn't me, it was the other person. Because one time, we had someone interviewing who wanted to join the group, and they weren't certain, they weren't convinced that they should work for my boss, who was a little bit eccentric. This is my previous boss. But anyway, genuinely, he was eccentric. So she comes by, and traditionally, after your job interview, where the boss grills you to see you're not an idiot, they decide, how about you talk to one of the people in the group who tells you how it is to work for me, and they promise they won't lie. And so you think, okay, great. So, but on that fateful day, I had just received a great result. My hunch of weeks and weeks and weeks had paid off, and I was absolutely vibrating with joy. At this point, the interview candidate comes forward and everyone else has gone for coffee, so they only have me to speak to. And I am so buzzed right now. I'm like, oh my goodness, this group is the greatest group in the world. My boss, he is the greatest dude that ever drew breath. I love my bench, I love my pipette, I love the frogs. I was so enthusiastic. She thought, oh my goodness, this is a normal guy at the lab and he loves this place. And so she signed up, absolutely blindfold, no further questions. That's when her luck ran out. They assigned her a project that was freaking cursed, man. Nothing she touched for 18 months worked. And she never forgave me because she thought it was some kind of act of sabotage. If she'd come to me the day before, I'd have gone, I don't know about this place. Things aren't going my way. I hope something good happens tomorrow. But no, she caught me at the good day. But that's the luck of science, or the bad luck. I mean, I don't know if she did forgive me. Well, I haven't spoken to her in years, but anyway. So, now, changing channel. A friend of mine, every November, goes out and buys a Christmas tree and covers it in fairy lights, because he suffers from premature decoration. Okay, so... Yes, and changing topic once again. I, as well as being a scientist, I love free stuff. I mean, I can never get enough of it. Free 99 is my favorite price in the entire universe. I always sign up for every offer that is going. And you would think to yourselves, or maybe you don't, I know I didn't, how do these free offers finance themselves? The answer is, they sell your details to every Yahoo in the zoo who's looking to phone you about double glazing or insurance claims or every other thing. So that's how they make their money. So, because when I moved to Denmark, my mother thinks that WhatsApp is voodoo, she insists I keep my old British number. So all these old Scottish companies are phoning me, trying to get me to buy stuff. I mean, there was an evil kind of insurance they used to sell called Pay Protection, which if you haven't heard of, you're better off. It was an insurance company that would only pay off if your upstairs living room was destroyed by a giraffe called Kevin. Was the only reason it would pay out. Every other thing was no. Anyway, So you'd get these phone calls saying, hey, we can claim back your payment protection insurance. And if you said, no, I never had it, they don't believe you. They're convinced that you're just too stupid to notice you had it slithered in the terms and conditions. So a simple no wouldn't cut the mustard. I'd pretend to be a forensic accountant. And they would go, are you sure, sir? It's like, yes, as a 20-year forensic accountant, I know that I never had payment protection. Are you sure, sir? It's like, ah! And so, yes, this did result in a certain amount of frustration from me. But then I decided, all you need is love, as it were. So I thought, what are they not expecting? What are people on the phone trying to sell you crap not expecting? They expect no, they expect swearing, they expect I just got out of the toilet, but they don't expect a romantic serenade. And so when I next got a call of like, hi there, this is claims for you, we're looking to claim you back your wrongly spent insurance, I go, the minute you walked in the joint, I could tell you were a man of distinction, a real big spender, good looking, so refined. He didn't let me reach the chorus. I mean, if that isn't rude, I don't know what is. But anyway, after me breaking out the old pipes, then sure enough, my calls dropped radically because they clearly realized there ain't no way we're selling and that guy keeps singing at us. But it did give me a warm, fuzzy feeling, kind of like being the lousy bus driver. But anyway. 2 seconds. But, the fun didn't stop there. I would get these phone calls, once again, with ambulance chasers trying to say, hey, we're phoning about the car accident you had. And I would once again try and take them to the Twilight Zone. But, the singing, that's so 5 years ago. So I thought, right, I'm going to get cute with them. So I said, oh, I actually live on a pastoral farm with a solar-powered mobile phone, and I only drive a bicycle. And it's like, but were you a passenger in a car? It's like, no, I live, I grow my own wheat, sort of thing. They still weren't buying it. And so when they finally called yet again, and we're still not taking no for an answer, I said, oh, thank goodness you called. And they should have got suspicious, someone happy to speak to them, hello? But no, they still, this did not dissuade them. And so I said, yes, I was actually in a terrible accident with my van. I was on my way to a competition, and this got their attention. They wanted to know more. So they said, oh, please tell us, what kind of competition? And I said, well, I was actually transporting my prize-winning show ferret, Mr. Miffles, and we were on our way to a competition where someone broadsided our van. For the record, I don't own a van, but the people I share an office with at work, they were completely confused by this point, hearing only my side of the conversation. And they said, and I said, because of the impact, Mr. Miffles strained his front paw and as a result only took silver. Do you think I could claim the lost prize money? There is a YouTube video of his performance. I think it wasn't his best work. Still, they don't think something weird is going on. And so they said, but sir, were you injured? I understand that Mr. Miffles was hurt, but how about you? Did you suffer any personal injury? And I was like, well, actually, and yes, I should have apologized to my colleagues in advance for this. I said, well, while I was operating the van, I was in fact naked. And so when the van hit me, then of course Mr. Miffles was catapulted out of his cage and he bit me somewhere rather important. And it was only at that point that they said, I'm sorry, sir, I think we need to call you back, and hung off. And you think, okay, you may be wondering, but what if they call back, Andrew? What do you have left in the chamber? And the answer is, I have one more shot to fire. And that's it. If they dare survive the whole Mr. Miffles roller coaster ride once more, then I will point out to them, well, I did suffer a loss of earnings, because I am a highly successful OnlyFans model. This isn't a video phone call. And I said, my clients were deeply turned off by Band-Aids all over my trouser tighten, so that was a problem. Can I claim loss of income for that? And, okay, now changing tack again. A friend of mine at a busy business, 5 minutes before the fire alarm went off, he put on his coat and went out and stood in the car park because he suffered from premature evacuation. Thank you, everybody. You've been great.
Andrew Fehrenbach, everybody, another round of applause, please.